Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 2 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 2-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1-minute time check, stations.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield IMG College, this is Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder. Brought to you by Oak Knoll, an active life care community. Also brought to you by Bud Light. Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Hy-Vee. Save time and shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. Governor's Traffic and Safety Bureau by the Iowa Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau, who reminds you to click it or ticket day or night. And by U.S. Bank, helping individuals and businesses work toward their financial goals. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Now, here is your host, Rob Brooks.
The Iowa women's basketball team starts 3-0 with a couple of in-state victories and also a big win in the Big Ten opener against the Wisconsin Badgers last Saturday inside Carver Hawkeye Arena. And welcome to Hawk Talk with Coach Lisa Bluder. I'm Rob Brooks. Great to get things started once again as Iowa, one of 3 teams in the Big Ten that have not lost a game so far, and been entertaining to watch, and so far so good. And Coach Bluder, great to see you again, and here we start another year of Hawk Talk.
Well, this is new. This is something different,
yes, it is.
Isn't it? I mean, if you live around long enough, I guess, we see it all.
Well, there's no doubt about that, and you've seen a lot so far this year. Of course, starting the season with in-state games, that is never easy to do. We've talked before about having a couple of non-conference games to kind of get settled in, get your feet wet, look at rotations, see what players can do off the bench, but jump right into a very good Northern Iowa team who knocked off Wichita State yesterday, had beaten Creighton earlier in the season, and they were obviously ready to go. You had something to prove from a year ago, but things really got off to a good start in taking care of the Panthers to open up the season.
Yes, and I'm looking for my stats right now, and of course I can't find them from that game. So I don't have them in front of me, but, it was a good start to the season. It was a situation where, I think everybody was excited to see what Caitlin could do. She did a great job, but just to get that win back was really important to us.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hard fought always with the in-state games. And then the Drake game in Des Moines, first road trip for a young team. And that was one of the most entertaining basketball games to watch and to call that I've seen in a long time, but certainly some stressful moments for you over in Des Moines.
Oh, I like that we have the graphics going right now with some of the highlights from that game. 103-97 win. We had 38 points in the fourth quarter, which is absolutely amazing to think about it. Sometimes you get 38 points in a half, and to get that in a quarter. What I liked in this game is how many assists that Caitlin had. She had 30 points. Most of those came in the first half. And then in the second half, she really got her teammates involved and had 13 assists on her way to earning the co-Big Ten Player of the Week for the freshmen and on the honor roll for the All-Big Ten team.
Well, I don't think that'll be probably the last time we say that. And she opened up the season with being the freshman of the week. And then every time that she's going to be the player of the week, we hope it happens a lot, among other Hawkeyes. But also will have to be the Big Ten freshman of the week as well. So that'll be kind of a nice duel that she'll be able to attain hopefully several times this year.
I hope so. And this week we have to congratulate her on being named the outright freshman of the week and the outright Big Ten player of the year. And I think you have to go back to Jess Shepard at Nebraska about 6 years ago when we actually had a freshman that was named to that received both of those honors. So pretty impressive honor for the freshman. But something we all expected, right? Right.
Well, we were certainly hopeful. But the interesting thing to me in watching her, Coach, is we all knew how good she is and is going to be. A terrific high school career, nationally known as far as a top 5 player and number 1 or 2 at her position. But to be able to come in and be as aggressive as she has been and to get teammates involved, it seems like it might take a game or two, but boy, she just really started off strong, driving to the basket, being aggressive, and then, of course, you mentioned the Drake game, scoring a lot in the first 3 quarters and then really getting her teammates involved in the fourth.
Caitlin came here. We knew she was she was ranked as the number 4 player in the country, the second best point guard in America. So we expected this kind of, output from her. It's fun to see. She's confident. She's a McDonald All-American. She's confident. She's, this is what she wanted to do, was to come in and contribute right away. And, I talked to her about the story about North Carolina soccer, how, a freshman went into that program that was really highly touted, and that's a great program, North Carolina soccer, and they went in there very touted, and the seniors and the juniors kept trying to hold her back. Kept trying to say, hey, don't show us up, and forget it. She went for it. And that's what I want out of Caitlin is I don't want her to ever hold back. I want her to go for it. I want her to play like a veteran, even as a freshman, because she has the potential to really take our team a long way this year.
Go back to the first few practices of this season, too, and just kind of how comfortable she was at that point in time versus getting to start to play some games. Is it kind of what you expected, or was there a progression there?
Well, she's a deep three-point shooter. She does things off the bounce, and that step back where she creates room is pretty amazing. Defensively, we got some work to do, and there's some other things that she really needs to work on, which she's a freshman. She's 18 years old. Of course, she has a lot of things to work on. So we're going to work on those, and she's going to get better. But quite honestly, I think when she walked on campus, she knew, and we talked about it, that she was going to be our point guard and that she was going to be leading this basketball team. So it's not like there was any question about it. It was just a matter of her going out there to do it.
Well, you mentioned the last 2 games, averaged 26.5 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds, 2.5 steals, and also of note, shot almost 50% from the floor, and of course had the double-double against the Drake Bulldogs. And you talk about being a freshman and Big Ten Player of the Week. Her 30 points and 13 assists at Drake, becoming the only NCAA Division I freshman since the 2015-2016 season to have a 30-point game and 10-plus assists. That's quite remarkable. She's able to do that this early.
Yeah, and I think we're going to get a lot of these this year, like those, not only record-breaking performances, but oh wow moments. But then, I don't want to put so much weight on her shoulders because we have a lot of good people surrounding her, and that's the difference. Like, she comes from a good high school program, but certainly now she's surrounded by really good basketball players, and she doesn't have to do as much by herself. And I think that's just a growing process. It's going to have to take a little bit of time. There are some times that she's going to force things because she's used to doing that. She's been doing it for her whole life. Where now, maybe she doesn't have to force things on the first time that she touches the ball, but, maybe the second time that she touches the ball. And so those are things that she's going to grow and learn into, and we're going to work through those things. And I'm just excited to have this journey with her.
Lisa, how do you kind of handle that, too? Because you want her to be aggressive and certainly want her to have the green light, but kind of when to pull back, when to get other players involved, which I thought she did a terrific job in the fourth quarter, finding Monica, finding others at Drake.
Yeah, and there is a fine line because I do not want to take away her confidence or her competitiveness or her ability to look for that shot, because there are times that we're going to need her to do that. So it's just now understanding time and score and when to do those things. And again, that's just going to come from watching film and from just getting around and getting, confidence in her teammates that they can carry some of that load as well. And so I think that it just is going to come with time. And, this year, unfortunately, the freshmen aren't given a lot of time. None of the freshmen are given a lot of time around the country because they don't have those kind of cupcake games early in the year to practice it. We didn't have any exhibitions. We didn't have any closed scrimmages. And all that stuff would have really helped her. But it is what it is. We got to move on.
No doubt about it. And we've got kind of a new Monday Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder going. Of course, normally we're at Jean's. That's not happening this year. And the nice thing is that you can reach us several different ways. Of course, we always got our phone number that you can jump on and give us a call, 1-877-464-2957. That's 1-877-GO-HAWKS. That hasn't changed, but now you can watch us as well. And you can go to youtube.com/Hawkeye Radio Network. And if you have questions for the coach, we certainly invite you to call. But also, if you go to that YouTube link and click on the live video stream, you can leave your question in the chat room, or on social media, you can use hashtag HawkTalk. So we'll remind you of all the different options to touch base with Coach Bluder throughout the season. And already we've got a Facebook question from Mary in Cedar Rapids. Coach, Gabby Marshall seems to be very much improved this year. And how have you seen her progression early on this year versus her freshman campaign?
Yeah, Gabby played really well her freshman year, and she got a lot of good minutes. She wasn't the person that was called upon, obviously, with Kathleen Doyle here and, Lexi Kostanek and Mackenzie Meyer. But she got the valuable minutes. And I think she really learned the game and learned what we were asking out of her in that freshman campaign. And now in her sophomore year, man, it's a changed Gabby Marshall coming in this summer. She's more confident. She carries herself a little differently. She's more understands that we need her defensively, which she has done a good job defensively for us. And she's just more involved in the game. And I love to see it. We always knew she was a great player, but it sure is fun to have her really step up. And in our last game against Wisconsin, she was the most productive player on the floor offensively and defensively. And so I'm just really happy for Gabby. And like I say, she's shooting the ball well. She's just not making a lot of mistakes. She's having fun out there, and I'm excited for her.
Well, and how key were those 3 steals at Drake to really spur on that big fourth quarter in which you outscored the Bulldogs 38-29. I thought that was a huge turning point.
Well, yes, she had the steals on the inbound pass, and she's kind of sneaky like that. She likes to sneak up and, we have her pick up the ball handler, but she likes to sneak up a little bit and get that. And that was a huge momentum swing for us, energy boost when she did that for us. And so I'm, again, really happy with Gabby Marshall's play and looking forward to her continuing to grow and get better as it goes on.
She jumped into that starting position pretty easily.
She sure did. And, we talked about, Rob, you brought up the fact that we should be at Jean's tonight. I'm kind of missing a burger or something right
I know it. I'm hungry already, huh?
We always had a nice meal there at Jean's. So thank you, Jean's, and now I'm in my messy office. So I'm sorry. This is where I am.
And we miss all the fans that were able to come out week after week as well.
Absolutely. We really had a great group that would join us every week at Jean's, and I miss that. Now, like I said, I'm sitting in my office by myself, which isn't near as much fun. No. Anyway, I miss Jean's, and hopefully we'll be back there next year.
Yeah, no question about it. We got some more questions off of Facebook, Coach, that we'll get to, but first we'll take our first break. 1-877-464-2957, 1-877-GO-HAWKS. Or, of course, you can use the hashtag Hawk Talk on social media or the youtube.com Hawkeye Radio Network stream. We invite your comments, no doubt about it. And, Mark, we'll get to you next. More Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder coming up next.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer. IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
This isn't a grilled cheese I'm making. It's a melty masterpiece that deserves a kitchen worthy of greatness.
Looks like my porch is full of packages again. It also looks like my compulsive buying needs to change to compulsive saving.
As I sit here on this couch, I decided to make some changes, starting with this couch.
I'd love to be looking out my window at a beautiful backyard instead of a brick wall. Time for a new house.
Whatever your passion, U.S. Bank can help turn it into your next pursuit. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. Gary Dolphin here for UPS. Your customers want more from your business. You've got to make more happen, whether they're in Coralville or on the other side of the world. Globally or locally, UPS is building solutions to help businesses give their customers exactly what they want. More made easy. UPS, the official logistics company of Iowa Athletics.
Here in Iowa, corn is more than our livelihood. It's our way of life. We use it to feed our livestock, helping us raise healthy pigs, cows, and chickens. We use it to make ethanol, helping us power a prosperous, clean-burning future. We use it to nourish our families, helping us stay strong generation to generation. And the more we use it, the more it boosts our economy, helping elevate the lives of all Iowans. You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
Riverside Casino and Golf Resort loves a winner. You see it in every game, play-by-play, everywhere you turn. Whether it's hitting the tables, spending time at your favorite game, or just relaxing, enjoying everything that Riverside Casino has to offer, you can bet we have something for everyone. So make every gameplay count. Your best bet is Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just 12 miles south of Iowa City on Highway 218. Let the games begin.
Get ready for more. Introducing Hy-Vee Plus. Get a Hy-Vee Plus premium membership for just $99 a year and get fuel savings every time you shop in-store and online. Plus, exclusive deals and offers every month. Plus, you can call our Red Line hotline day or night for anything you need. Plus, free online delivery and free express pickup. Plus, a personal online shopper. With Hy-Vee Plus, our plus equals more. Sign up today. Some restrictions apply.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Coach Lisa Bluder, our first of 13 shows throughout the basketball season. Of course, the Hawkeyes start strong at 3-0. Always important to get that first Big Ten victory under your belt. And the Hawkeyes took care of a good Wisconsin team, much improved, 85-78, and, of course, scored over 100 points last Wednesday, defeating the Drake Bulldogs 103-97. How good a victory was that? Well, Minnesota found out over the weekend how good the Drake Bulldogs are. Losing, Minnesota lost that game 99-66. We've got Coach Bluder, one more Facebook question here from Mark in Iowa City. Certainly we've talked about Caitlin. We know about Caitlin, but how about the rest of the freshmen? Because this was, of course, a very heralded recruiting class that you brought in, and others are contributing as well.
Absolutely. I'm glad that you brought that up, Mark. Sharon Goodman is doing a really good job for us inside and providing minutes for Monica if Monica gets in foul trouble, needs a break. What a great backup post player. I mean, she is just doing marvelous. She's shooting 60% from the field right now. She's 5 for 6 from the free throw line. She's averaging 3.5 rebounds a game, and that's all in 11 minutes of play. So she's doing a really nice job for us, and she's going to get better and better and better. There's no doubt about it. I'm really excited about Sharon Goodman. Lauren Jensen playing about 9 minutes a game right now. She's shooting the ball well. She's a really good, quick three-point shooter. She's going to be a tremendous off guard. She can play the 2 or the 3 position for us. She's from Lakeville, Minnesota, and boy, you couldn't ask for a nicer kid. I mean, she is just salt of the earth. And then the last player is a kind of a local player from Montezuma, Iowa, and that's Shatia Wettering. And Shatia hasn't got on the floor a whole lot yet. 8 minutes is what she's played in 2 games, but she's going to get there. She runs the floor so well. She can play right now we're having her kind of concentrate at the power forward, but in time we're going to move her to the power forward and small forward positions. They're just quite different in our system. And so we think for a freshman, it's kind of good to focus on one of those areas. But Shatia, again, I really think we have such a great group of women on our team. This freshman class is really special. And I'm really, really just thrilled with all 4 of them.
And, Coach, you got to like the depth, too, of this team. Of course, the starters are going to play starter-type minutes, but not afraid to go to the bench, and it's been good so far.
Yeah, we have more depth now than I think we've ever had, and it makes it, hard because as a coach, you got to make some tough decisions. Sometimes when you only have, 7 players that can play, it's easy, right? This is what you got, so you kind of stick with it, you go with it, you let them kind of play through their mistakes. Sometimes it's harder when you have a little more depth because kids don't get the opportunity to play through their mistakes sometimes because they're kind of worried about the rest of the kids on the bench and who's going to come in and replace me. So it's a little bit harder, and I know that sounds unusual, but that's the downside of having a lot of players. The good thing is that through fouls, through injuries, through practice, you're getting better. And we've been able to go to our bench extensively, whether it's Sharon Goodman coming in for Monica at the 5, whether it's Logan Cook coming in. And we haven't talked about her yet. As a junior, she's really made a big jump this year. And she's been doing a very, very good job for us. And so, whether it's Logan coming in at the power forward position or backing up our third 5 position at that depth chart position, whether it's Megan Meyer coming in, Lauren Jetson coming in, Alexis Civilian coming in, who has been a starter for us in the past. She's coming off the bench now. Kate Martin is in the starting position, but playing at the 3 is Tomi Taiwo behind her. So we just have a lot of depth to work with this year.
A lot of names that you rattled off there, no doubt about it. And Logan Cook, sensational minutes, I thought, at Drake. We'll head to the phones. Anthony from Des Moines, a regular for us. Anthony, good to hear your voice again this year.
Yeah, good evening there, Bob. And good to hear from you. Coach, happy holidays to you.
And to you as well, Anthony. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, Coach, before I get to my question here, congratulations on your 3-0 start. I'm just kind of wondering, though, is which Iowa player as a freshman is going to have a huge impact this year? I'm kind of wondering, though, how's that new recruit from Dowling that you recruited, how she's going to make an impact on your basketball squad this year? And I'll hang up, listen, and go Hawks. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Anthony. And there's no doubt our freshmen are going to make a big impact. And, you know, Caitlin Clark, the impact that she's already had in our program day to day, she was named the Freshman of the Week and the Big Ten Player of the Week. And you have to go back to, I think you said, Rob, 2015
16,
to find a player that has done that. And that player was Jess Shepard, who was at Nebraska and then transferred to Notre Dame and had a fabulous career there. So it's pretty rare to see a freshman being named to the Big Ten Player of the Week. It is very rare, but that just shows you what type of player she is.
And to put 30 points on the board so early in a big contest, an in-state game, basically going back home.
Unbelievable. I mean, think of the pressure she had going back home to play in Des Moines at Drake University. You know, we only got 30 tickets to that game, and she had a lot of them that were her fans and friends and relatives. And, you know, in-state rivalry, she'd played against a lot of those players. And so, you know, there was a lot on the line, a lot mentally to get through, as well as just, you know, physically what she did.
And got through it nicely, no doubt about that. Back to the phones. We'll head to North Liberty and bring in Lawrence. Lawrence, how are you today?
Hi, this isn't Lawrence.
Oh, it's Karin, yes.
Yes. They must have misunderstood what I said.
Evidently.
I changed. But anyway, first of all...
No, you haven't.
No. First of all, it's very hard to miss watching these gals play in person. The atmosphere of being there is so much better than sitting at home and listening to it on radio or watching on TV. But so far, I think you have some great players with lots of potential. And there's the usual missing of free throws and forgetting to box out and leaving someone open, but that will improve as the games go on. My questions are, how is it playing in front of an empty crowd? Do you feel like it is a scrimmage? And two, what are some of the sanitary routines you must go through? And Rob, I miss your halftime talks with Kirk. And let's go Hawks, beat State.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks, Karin. So Karin brought up a good, you know, question about the atmosphere.
Right.
I mean, different, right? Like, I mean, we're playing at home, but we've lost a home court advantage. And our home court advantage is really, really good. I mean, when you're the, you know, last 2 years, we've been 9th best attended team in the country, 10th best attended team in the country, 7,000 people here, you know, and now you're putting 100 in the crowd. It's different. It's, you know, we have one of the best we have the second best winning streak in the United States after Baylor. There's a reason for that. One is we've had good teams, but the second thing is we have a marvelous home court advantage. What creates the home court advantage? The fans. The fans do. And we've taken that away. So unfortunately, you know, it's not the same playing in Carver Hawkeye Arena. Do I still like it? Absolutely. I mean, I'd rather play in Carver than go on the road, right? I don't want to travel. I don't like traveling. You know, I get to sleep in my own bed. We get to play in Carver where we know the lights, the depth perception, the floor. You know, there are basketballs that we practice with every day. So there's still some advantage to playing at home. But boy, it's been negated a lot this year. And, you know, I remember so many times, like in the fourth quarter, when our team was just a little bit tired, how the crowd would get into us and really inspire us to play great defense or to push the ball still. And it works. It helps. And so we have to really get that energy out of ourselves right now. And it's harder. And so we miss you. We miss our fans in Carver Hawkeye Arena. And you need to know that. I can't wait till you're back. Does it feel like a scrimmage? A little bit, but also, you know, you see red out there. It's different, right? You see Wisconsin or Iowa State on the chest, and it's different. And so it's not quite a scrimmage, but it's it's not near as much fun, but man, I still love to win, believe me, and I still want to win, and we're still driven. And as soon as you get into the game, you kind of get into the zone a little bit. Over at Drake, it was really loud. In the Big Ten, they are very specific as far as what our decimals can be. It's, I believe, 80 decimals that you can have while the game is going on. I think it goes to 50 decimals while you're shooting a free throw. So believe me, every Big Ten arena we go into, it's going to be the same. And it almost turns into a little bit of a white noise, which can kind of lull you a little bit sometimes. Boy, at Drake, it was loud. I mean, Missouri Valley doesn't have the same rules that the Big Ten has, and so it was annoyingly loud. And so those are things that you're going to have to adjust to, but, you know, we don't have any more non-conference games on the road, so everything will be the same from now on. The sanitary routines, we are testing every day. I feel very comfortable with what the Big Ten has come up with. I feel very comfortable with the Big Ten protocol, what Iowa has committed to for testing our athletes, how particular they are, that we are wearing masks in the office all the time, you know, unless we're in our office by ourselves, that our players are being very committed to staying in their social circles of just basketball, which is very uncollegiate, right? I mean, it is not, they are not getting the collegiate experience, which is really sad. But everybody in the country, if they're being serious about playing basketball, is under the same umbrella. You hang out with your basketball friends and you really don't do much else. You don't go anywhere. You don't get to experience what normal college students get to experience. You don't get to make friends in your classes. You're doing most of that online. So yeah, we're going through a lot of sanitary routines. We don't eat training tables together anymore. You know, I look forward to every day eating lunch with my players and really just sitting down and getting to know my players off the court. And I don't get to do that anymore. So that's, I think, very unfortunate.
Yeah, Coach, great points, and I want to talk a little bit more about that after the break. Hawkeye basketball is brought to you by Bud Light. Whenever there's a Hawkeye game to watch or listen to, there's a Bud Light there. While the Iowa Corn Cyhawk Series is on hold this season, of course, Iowa and Iowa State from Carver Hawkeye Arena on Wednesday. Iowa's corn farmers will continue to stand behind this unique series and everything it stands for, because here in Iowa we grow corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Appreciate everybody checking in on our first Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder. 1-877-464-2957. Go Hawks, the phone number. Of course, on social media, hashtag Hawk Talk. And something new and fun. I think we'll enjoy this year on YouTube, youtube.com, Hawkeye Radio Network. Click on our live video stream, and you can leave your question right there in the chat room. More with Coach Bluder after the break. This is Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder on Learfield IMG College.
Whoa, winter is right around the corner. Before you travel for the holidays, get a free winter inspection from my dad, Brian Sekfetz, and his staff at Dodge Street Tire and Auto. For 25 good years, they've been your family-friendly, dependable, and honest neighborhood auto repair shop. That's why their loyal customers have once again voted Dodge Street Tire as the best in the area. Don't be left out in the cold. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, at the corner of Dodge and Church Street.
Are you looking to downsize from your family home to begin your retirement years? Our Oak Knoll East campus is for you. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director at Oak Knoll. Our new campus has many unique amenities for your active lifestyle, in addition to providing the same great services that Oak Knoll has offered our residents for over 50 years. We're now open and have a few two-bedroom apartments still available. Call me at 319-351-1720 or visit oakknoll.com to set up your personal tour. Go Hawks!
Feel the power. Feel the speed. Feel extreme. Hawk fans, get extreme. Powered by Mediacom. And experience streaming so real you can feel it. Whether you're live streaming the game or streaming your favorite series. With supercharged speeds up to 1 gig and powerful whole home Wi-Fi, you're in it. Our 100% gigabit technology network was built to take you further. Get ready to feel it. Extreme. Powered by Mediacom.
Mid-American Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hidden phone trade-ins, hidden plan requirements, hidden catches. You won't find them at US Cellular because we speak fair. Plus, when you switch right now, you can get $500 off the latest phones. That's right, $500 off the latest phones with no hidden requirements, no hidden plan requirements, no hidden phone trade-ins, and no hidden... You get the idea. Upgrade to fair. Upgrade to US Cellular. Requires new postpaid service plan, new line port in, credit approval, qualified smartphone purchase, and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month RIC. Taxes, fees, and additional terms apply.
Imagine a virtual club that's free to join, where the fun never stops and where there's always something new and exciting happening. It's the Prize Zone, a special part of the Iowa Lottery VIP Club that'll make your VIP experience even VIP-ier. Members can enter Prize Zone drawings for cash, technology, lottery tickets, concert tickets, and sports ticket prizes all day, every day, all year long. Get rules and complete details at ialottery.com. Join today and see what's waiting for you in the VIP Club Prize Zone.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder. I'm Rob Brooks, our first show of the basketball season. Nice to have hoops underway. The Hawks 3-0, and a couple of big challenges await Iowa again this week. Of course, the final in-state rivalry game, and the Hawks look for another sweep, Iowa and Iowa State, Wednesday at 6:30, and then right back into Big Ten Conference play. That's odd, too, to talk about early December, closer to mid-December, and Big Ten basketball at Michigan State on Saturday. Coach, do we have a game time for that ball game yet?
We do. We just got it today. That's one of the other things about COVID is you don't get start times until the very last minute, which makes it very uncomfortable for those operations people that are trying to get meals and everything else planned. But we will be playing at Michigan State on Saturday at 1 o'clock their time, which is actually noon our time.
Oh, excellent.
We'll be playing at noon our time. And then we'll come back from that, have finals week, and then be playing at Ohio State. So we're going to play at Michigan State, at Ohio State, all before Christmas, which, like you said, is very unusual. And two places that are pretty tough to play.
No doubt about that. The Breslin Center in East Lansing, Michigan. That'll be great. Nice before the football game to be able to have Iowa and Michigan State. So be able to call that one. Look forward to that. But first things first, Iowa and Iowa State on Wednesday. Coach, before the break, kind of talking about the COVID testing and the sanitizing. Obviously, you went through it about home games. How about on the road? Any different travel plans this year? I know maybe you were thinking about going to Drake the day of or staying in a hotel, but you want to try to keep things as normal as possible too, don't you?
We do want to keep things as normal as possible because athletes are a creature of habits, and they're not superstitious all the time, but they are very much like their habits to get ready for games. And so we asked the captains actually what they thought would be best, is to go over the day of the game or to go the night before. And it was overwhelming the night before. We need that. We need to be able to go on the road and be able to have normalcy as far as getting ready for an away game. And we do have the added component of when you're on the road, you have to test now. So we have to get there early for shoot around to test, wait, about a half an hour for those tests to be read, and then go on to the shooting court to have our shoot around. So everything's taking a little bit more time than what it used to take. So that's something else you kind of have to adjust for. Now, when we go to Michigan State on Saturday, we'll leave on Friday. With it being a noon tip on Iowa, we're certainly not going to do our shoot around at 6 o'clock, which is what is assigned to us. So there is a rule that you can test the night before as long as it's only 18 hours before tipping time. So we will have our shoot around the night before in the Breslin Center from 7 to 8. We'll test at 8:30. Hopefully get back to our hotel at 9 o'clock for dinner. Again, all these things are so much different than what we used to do. And, dinner is not the same. Like, you used to be able to sit around and have that camaraderie. And now it's kind of like order something from a menu, get it and have it and take it to your room and eat it. So, things are definitely different, but I'm really proud of my team. Because of our great team chemistry, I think we're going to be okay.
Well, and I think that the university, the athletic department as a whole, has done a really good job. And you talk about your team as well, but really, from a statistical standpoint, very few positive tests versus some other places. There's obviously cancellations every day. You can't even keep track of them all.
I am so impressed with the job that our medical people have done at the University of Iowa. And this is a huge shout out to our athletic trainers who are really running all of our testing. They're organizing everything. They have went beyond a doubt. They have just done so much to keep us on the floor. Our athletic trainers have been marvelous. And our athletic trainer, her name is Jenny Serter. She's been fabulous. And Jenny's been with this program longer than I have been by a year. So she's been here starting her 22nd year. I'm so glad that we have somebody that is experienced and that knows the system so well and is just has the confidence to do such a good job for us. So she's done an unbelievable job. And then our administration, this has been really hard. It's been hard as far as budgeting. It's been hard as far as cutting sports. It's been hard as far as keeping our athletes having as normal of experience as possible. I am so impressed with the job that they've done and the transparency that they've given to all of us head coaches and to communicate what's happening. Our administration, Gary Barta, Barbara Burke, we are very fortunate. We are very fortunate here at the University of Iowa to have such great administrators.
Well, I miss seeing Jenny, of course, at the games. The only time I get to see her is when I'm getting tested over at the building. That's true. The only time I get to say hello to her. So she does a terrific job. And that is, I tell you, from a personal standpoint, you go through it every day, but that is quite a process. And it doesn't take long. They do a terrific job. And it's always nice when you get the negative back, but the setup is terrific. Can't imagine it being done any better.
They have figured out a system to make it as smooth as possible, as quick as possible, and as painless as possible. And honestly, I am so impressed with the women on our team because they have not complained at all about testing. They have not complained if they've had to go into a quarantine. This group of women, I can't explain to you the maturity of the people on our team and in our program and how it's like, if this is what we got to do to play, let's do it. Let's step up to the plate. We're going to do it. We're going to do it without complaining. We're going to just get it over with and get on the floor and play. I've been so impressed.
Yeah. And that's, some of the good stories, too, Coach, that can come out of something like this. You got to grasp everyone you can because it's been tough on everybody, no doubt about that. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, locally owned and operated, has been voted best of the area for the 10th consecutive year and is a proud supporter of Iowa women's basketball. Visit us for all of your automotive needs, including the best deals on Goodyear and Toyota tires. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, celebrating over 25 good years in Iowa City. We've got a couple of Facebook questions to get to and also start talking about Iowa State and Michigan State. Another big week for the 3-0 Hawkeyes. We'll do that when we come back. More Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder after the break.
Whether it's a commercial, residential, healthcare, or industrial project, Carpenters Union Local 1260 provides a professional and productive workforce on time and on budget. And Union Carpenters also have specialized COVID prevention training to allow for the safest environment possible. Since 1902, Carpenters Union Local 1260 has been building the University of Iowa, and that relationship continues today as a proud partner of Hawkeye Athletics. To find a union contractor and union carpenters for your next job, visit carpentersunionlocal1260.com or call 319-338-1638.
Here in Iowa, corn is more than our livelihood. It's our way of life. We use it to feed our livestock, helping us raise healthy pigs, cows, and chickens. We use it to make ethanol, helping us power a prosperous, clean-burning future. We use it to nourish our families, helping us stay strong generation to generation. And the more we use it, the more it boosts our economy, helping elevate the lives of all Iowans. You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
Primary care providers should be able to look at patients, read between the lines, and know something's not right. Hi, I'm Dr. Denise Martinez at University of Iowa Healthcare. 80% of conditions can be treated by a family medicine doctor, so our comprehensive and caring approach is key. And if it turns out to be serious or out of our scope, we'll connect you to the right specialist right away. With experts all across the region, find one near you at uihc.org.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. Gary Dolphin here for UPS. Your customers want more from your business. You've got to make more happen, whether they're in Coralville or on the other side of the world. Globally or locally, UPS is building solutions to help businesses give their customers exactly what they want. More made easy. UPS, the official logistics company of Iowa Athletics.
Are you looking to downsize from your family home to begin your retirement years? Our Oak Knoll East campus is for you. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director at Oak Knoll. Our new campus has many unique amenities for your active lifestyle, in addition to providing the same great services that Oak Knoll has offered our residents for over 50 years. We're now open and have a few two-bedroom apartments still available. Call me at 319-351-1720 or visit oakknoll.com to set up your personal tour. Go Hawks!
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer. IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hawkeyes go for 39 in a row against the Iowa State Cyclones Wednesday night, and also the sweep of the 3 in-state schools, already having defeated Northern Iowa and Drake. Hawkeye basketball is proudly sponsored by Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield, Iowa's hometown health insurer for over 80 years. Wellmark reminds Hawkeye fans to stay healthy and stay in the game by wearing a mask, washing your hands, and getting a flu shot. Coach, a Twitter question from Lisa in Tiffin, and this is always kind of fun to look up. Megan Gustafson and Kathleen Doyle, how are they doing professionally as of now?
Oh, it's so nice that, Lisa, thank you for bringing up that question. Both of them are playing in Poland. This is very unusual. Both of them had the same agent, and both of them played in the WNBA. Megan played for the Dallas Wings, and Kathleen played for the Indiana Fever. And they both left in August, the end of August, to go over to Poland to play on the same basketball team. So very unusual that they both have the same team, and very comforting too, right? And they're both playing really, really well. Their team's doing very well, and you can just see, like, you know, Kathleen making those feeds to Megan, and it's nice for them to be on the same team and for them to be doing so well. So excited for both of them to return. Megan with the Dallas Wings, her coach was fired after this season, and so she's looking forward to getting to know the new coach and finding out what her situation is there. Where Kathleen, we're hoping that she'll stay with the Indiana Fever.
Coach, with the overseas basketball, how do players kind of figure out, okay, where do I want to play? Do you have options like that? Do you rely on the agent, other players? How does that evolve?
A lot of it is your agent. It's agent driven, and both of them have an excellent agent. I'm really happy that they both have the same agent because I think they're the best in the business. And so basically your agent will bring you a proposal of Poland wants a center. This team in Poland, this league in the Euro League. This is the salary. Do you want to accept? And so basically, it's very unusual for a person to maybe to go back to the same team year after year after year because they're either trying to get a better contract where they may be getting paid more or want to explore a different country. So it's highly unusual for two people from the same team to be on the same team. And so it's an unusual situation, but I'm really happy for them.
Yeah, that has to be. And then also to rely on maybe former players and heavily on your agent to make sure you get yourself into a good situation, especially at the start of your career.
You have to have a good agent. You go overseas and you hear many nightmare stories. Maybe you don't get paid, or maybe your apartment is terrible, or they don't give you what you promised. I don't know. I see both of these girls driving around in Lexuses. They both have their own apartments. Not such a bad gig, I don't think.
That sounds pretty good to me, and certainly well-deserved. You talked a little bit about home crowds, and you certainly can look back to Iowa State crowds inside Carver Hawkeye Arena, and quite frankly, Hilton too. And as you mentioned today, you would expect 9,000, maybe 10,000 fans to be at this game Wednesday, especially it's going to be 53 or 4 degrees. And, that element isn't there. But I think you're right in the fact that once the game gets going, you at times anyway, kind of forget about, you look around and there's not many fans there once the game action is started.
Yeah, and I should say not only do we miss our fans, but we miss our band. We miss our cheer squad. We have our families there, which is nice. Every player, every staff gets to have 4 members of their family there. And so that is nice. That brings about 100 people from each team into the arena. But, all you got to do is look down to the other side of that bench and see a different colored jersey on there. Yep. This is for real. And so it's we're trying to keep as much typical as possible, including the video boards and having some kind of crowd noise. And this game's important. Obviously we're playing our in-state rival, Iowa State. We've won the last 4 in this series. Before it was kind of the home court team that was taking the victory. But after winning 4 in a row, it feels really good to go into on our home court, winning 4 in a row. We know that Iowa State is a young team, even though they're probably not any younger than we are. They have a senior in their starting lineup, which we don't have. They have a junior in their starting lineup, which we do like Monica. They have a tremendous player in Ashley Jones, but their freshmen are very impressive, just like our freshmen. Their recruiting class was ranked, I believe, 11th best. Ours was 14th. So this is 2 programs that have very, very good young players and are going to do very well in their respective leagues.
Cyclones 2-2 defeated Omaha and then won at TCU big, but lost to South Dakota State, a very good South Dakota State team, 76-69, and then played the number 1 team in the country in South Carolina. Lost that one 83-65, and South Carolina is the real deal, no doubt about that. But already played 4 games, and they have gone through the travel process already.
Well, and they're in the top 25 for a reason. I mean, they won against Omaha on their home court. They go up to South Dakota, and Coach Fenley's not on the bench with them. And I'm sure that hurt them. He was in a quarantine for COVID at that point. That's unusual. And I'm sure that hurt them. But going to South Dakota State and losing there is nothing to be ashamed of. That is a very good program. And I think South Dakota State has had another top 25 win this week. So that's someplace you don't want to mess around with. We've been there. We know how hard it is to play there. We felt very fortunate when we left there with a W. They've gotten us on our home court a few years back. So that is a very good program. And then you go to TCU, you go on the road. So they've been on the road for 2 games. This will be their 3rd road game. They clean up there, no problem. And then, you host the number 1 team in the country and you lose. Okay. You lost to the number 1 team in the country. Not a shameful thing by any means. So obviously this is a team that's already been challenged. I think we've played a pretty good schedule, but I think they've played a really good schedule. And usually I feel like we've played a better schedule going into the games with Iowa State. And I would say that's maybe a little bit turned this year.
We'll talk a little bit more about the Cyclones. Also look forward to the Michigan State game, the Hawks' first game on the road in the Big Ten. Our final segment coming up with Coach Bluder. We'll do that after the break.
Champions share common traits: integrity, reliability, hard work, and innovation. Your Better Business Bureau knows championship companies. On checks and listen to consumers around Iowa and Illinois so we know the true character of these companies. Let the BBB match you with a championship company when you're hiring a contractor, using a business, or need a service. The Better Business Bureau is an Iowa nonprofit serving our neighbors for over 80 years. BBB help and information is free. You'll find us at bbb.org/Iowa.
Like any winning team, it takes every part of EMC Insurance Companies working together to successfully ensure that our agents, policyholders, and employees can count on EMC. And they do. They count on our broad range of insurance products and services. They count on our superior level of personalized service, and they trust that we will continue to be a financially stable partner, just like we have been for more than 100 years. All of this makes EMC one of the nation's premier insurance companies, and that's something you can always count on.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
Experience the benefit of Blue with a Medicare supplement plan from Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. With our plans, you'll enjoy nationwide access to care, optional dental, vision, and hearing coverage, and more. Call 1-888-616-8927 or go online to wellmark.com/Medicare plans. You may even qualify for a special household discount. This is the benefit of Blue. Wellmark Blue dental product available to Iowa residents only. Must reside in the service area of the plan. Wellmark Medicare supplement insurance plans are not connected with or endorsed by any government agency.
Fans, if you want to give your taste buds the thrill of a dramatic, fun-filled victory, try Blue Bunny Loaded Sundaes. With a roster of all-star flavors, Loaded Sundaes have tons of toppings, swirled in deliciously soft ice cream. Even better, they come straight from the freezer, so you can grab one and get right back to the game. The next time you're in the freezer aisle, let your fun side act as head coach. Get Blue Bunny Loaded Sundaes, available now at your local grocery store.
College basketball is back on SiriusXM. On Big Ten Radio, there's live coverage for every college basketball team in the conference, including live games, plus 24/7 talk and analysis. So cheer along online or on the SiriusXM app and listen to your favorite team anywhere. And now, as a college student, you can stream your first 3 months of SiriusXM for $1. Fees and taxes apply. See other details and subscribe now at SiriusXM.com/Big Ten Basketball.
Appreciate everybody listening and watching in tonight. Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder. We'll be back again next Monday at 6 o'clock. We'll be talking about a couple of Hawkeye victories. Iowa State on Wednesday and then the first Big Ten road contest against the Michigan State Spartans. And, Coach, we've talked about how things will be at home and how it's different. How's it going to be different on the road in the Big Ten?
Yeah, I mean, just this afternoon, a few hours ago, we found out our game time for Saturday. I mean, it's just so unusual because usually you have these things planned ahead of time. You know, your meal prep is different. Your times is different. So it's a little, we have to go over there. Our team will be tested in the morning here. Then we'll have practice here. They'll go to class. Then they'll come and we'll leave about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll fly to East Lansing, and we'll go straight to the arena for our shoot around. After our shoot around, we'll be tested, and then we'll get back to our hotel about 9 o'clock at night and have dinner there. And again, the meal situation's a little bit different as far as just take it and go to your room type of thing. The next day, it's a very early day because, our shoot around would have to be at 6 a.m. our time. That's not convenient for college students. So we'll be skipping that shoot around and going right to the gym and tipping off at 1 o'clock, which is noon our time.
Okay, Coach. We'll see you on Wednesday for Iowa State.
All right. Go Hawks!
All right. Thanks, Coach Bluder, our first Hawk Talk. Off and running. I'm Rob Brooks. Thanks so much for watching and listening on the Hawkeye Radio Network. And we'll talk to you from Carver Hawkeye Arena.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield IMG College, this has been Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder, brought to you by Oak Knoll, an active life care community, also brought to you by Bud Light. Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Hy-Vee, save time and shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. Governor's Traffic and Safety Bureau by the Iowa Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau, who reminds you to click it or ticket day or night. And by U.S. Bank, helping individuals and businesses work toward their financial goals. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. The preceding has been a Learfield IMG College presentation of the Hawkeye Sports Network. On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield IMG College, this is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey, presented by 1201 Kitchen and Tap in Coralville, featuring an extensive menu of steak, seafood, and sandwiches, along with a full bar and wine selections. Also brought to you in part by Bud Light. Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Hy-Vee, save time and shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. U.S. Bank, helping individuals and businesses work toward their financial goals. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by U.S. Cellular. U.S. Cellular is proud to support Hawkeye Athletics. U.S. Cellular, choose fair. Now, here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome in. It's a big week of Hawkeye Athletics starting tonight with our inaugural Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffrey, presented by 1201 Kitchen and Tap. I am Gary Dolphin, joined by my broadcast sidekick Bobby Hansen. And what a week. Over the next 7 days, Iowa at 3-0 and ranked number 3 will play 3 games, starting with 16th ranked North Carolina in the Big Ten ACC Challenge coming up tomorrow night at Carver Hawkeye Arena. That's a 6:30 tip-off. 6:30 tip, and we'll start our coverage at 5:30 here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. The Hawkeyes have dispatched another team from North Carolina Central. They've defeated Southern University and then Western Illinois last Thursday night. All those games you heard here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa averaged 99 points in those 3 victories. The Tar Heels are a little bit better than North Carolina Central. As I mentioned, they're ranked 16th. They come in at 3-1, having defeated the College of Charleston, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, the Runnin' Rebels, and Stanford, and then lost at the buzzer to 17th-ranked Texas in the title game of the Maui tournament, the Maui Classic last Wednesday. The Maui tournament was played in Asheville, North Carolina, because of COVID. That's how goofy this year has been. We do know this. They're coached by the very stable Hall of Famer Roy Williams. Great coach, and they play hard for Roy, and they'll be a factor in the ACC going forward this season. North Carolina, as I mentioned, 3-1. They have the preseason favorite to win the ACC Player of the Year in Garrison Brooks. And Brooks, 6'10", 6'11", 240-pound senior, hails from Lafayette, Alabama. Went to Auburn High School in Lafayette. Brooks is a real horse. Now, he turned an ankle pretty good in that Maui tournament, played sparingly in the championship game, and we'll see how much and if he plays tomorrow night against the Hawkeyes. That would be a big loss for North Carolina. They have 4 guys from 7'1" down to 6'10". It's a typical North Carolina team. They are young, really young, especially in the guard court, but they are athletic and plenty of 4 and 5 stars again this year on Roy Williams' roster. Bobby Hansen, welcome in. Good to be back with you on Hawk Talk, Bobby.
Buddy boy, here we go. The next straight 13 Mondays we'll be up here at beautiful Kinnick Stadium, looking out over at Stead Children's Hospital out there and broadcasting the show and talking with Coach McCaffrey here on Hawk Talk.
We, as Bobby mentioned, are in our Hawkeye broadcast. Actually, we're in the network television studio at Kinnick Stadium, as Bobby mentioned, right across the street from University Hospitals and Stead Family Children's Hospital. Fran McCaffrey is in his office, and let's see if we got Fran on board. I think we do. Well, we're waiting. We're waiting for Coach, so we'll keep it right here until he joins us. It was. As I mentioned, it's a big week of Hawkeye activities. It actually started this morning or this afternoon at the White House. Dan Gable received the Presidential Medal of Freedom from Donald Trump in a ceremony in Washington. The wrestling legend, the Waterloo native, state champion, NCAA champion, Olympic champion, Hall of Fame coach. He's been called the greatest athlete ever constructed by Sports Illustrated in a poll done, or a story done a few years ago. We know this. He's the greatest ambassador for the sport of wrestling, and today he received the highest honor that a civilian can receive. It goes to individuals who've made exceptional contributions to America's national interest, society, and culture. His wife Kathy, family, all the kids and grandkids were there today, so congratulations to our own Dan Gable, Olympic champion. He and Lou Holtz, the football coach, longtime Notre Dame football coach, were so honored by the president this past week. Now we got Coach McCaffrey joining us. I guess it's a good time you jump in here because I know what you think of Dan Gable. You hold him as in high respect as any of us, Fran.
You know what, guys? I also worked with Lou Holtz, so
nice.
I have respect for both of those guys.
Good point.
You don't get an opportunity to be around greatness like that very often, and that's the beauty of our profession. I've always said I think Dan Gable was the only person in sport who would generally be considered to be the best player and the best coach in that sport's history. I think that's a rarity that nobody else shares. Working with Lou, watching his genius. When I was there, my first year at Notre Dame, we went undefeated in football, won the national championship, and then remember the '93 year, which was amazing when we beat Florida State. But just watching him work, and the guys that he had to work for him. I mean, Barry Alvarez was there, and Urban Meyer was there. I mean, you just keep going with the incredible people that came through there, that opportunity to kind of be around. So, thrilled for both of them.
Yeah, Dan McCarney was on that staff too. Played football here at Iowa, so there's a lot of connections. I guess Lou Holtz and Coach Gable, and Fran, what always struck me and was in the Munich in the Olympic Games in 1972. Gable won 6 straight matches, but did not allow a point. It's never been done before. It's never been done since. He's the only wrestler in the history of Olympics. It's like it'd be like Nolan Ryan throwing 6 straight shutouts. I mean, it's just off the charts.
To me, what's amazing about that, and I think people forget because it's different time now, that was the Soviet Union in those days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they were trying to take over all of those countries, just so they could prove to the world that they were dominating. And they wanted to dominate the Olympics. They didn't just want to win the Olympics. They wanted to dominate. And so much money went into finding somebody to beat Dan Gable. And, that was money wasted, I guess, is the best way you could put it.
Didn't happen.
It did not happen. But, like, you forget, you look back and say, well, it was the 72 Olympics. 72 Olympics was really one of the more memorable ones. You think about what happened in basketball. You think about the tragedy with the Israeli, I think it was the Israeli wrestling team.
It was a wrestling team, yes.
When the terrorists came in and took over and killed some of those guys, and a helicopter blew up. I mean, you think about what was going on politically, all through the 70s, and remember, of course, in 1980 we boycotted, but it was just a different time, and we're old enough to remember that it wasn't Russia, it was the Soviet Union, and they were really, really coming after us in a very unique way, and Dan Gable was having none of it. That's for sure.
It was Russia, it was Iran, it was Iraq, it was Turkey, it was many of those countries behind the Iron Curtain, and they all were trying to beat Dan Gable. Maybe the best story I heard, Coach, about Gable, and then we'll move to basketball, was when he would go to these international meets, and as you know, he took on all comers. He would travel the world, China, you name it. He'd be there to take on the best because he knew and wanted to beat the best. And some in his party say told me they'd be walking down the main street of Moscow or Tehran or Istanbul, and as Gable would walk by, and he's usually in between meets, so he'd have his sweats on, they could hear people whispering, Gable, Gabel, or Gablé, they knew who he was. He was like a traveling prime minister or a president. So you talk about respect for not only what he accomplished as a wrestler, but he truly is an ambassador for the United States, and good for the president that he recognized that.
Yep.
Well, 3-0, Coach. Of course, the competition ratchets up this week, but tell us about your likes of the 3-0 start.
Well, I think the important thing was to take care of business. We attracted 2 teams in our MTE that we think will be teams that will win their league. So they'll be, in a normal year would be 18 to 20 win teams. This year, who knows how many games we're all going to get in. Some teams are not planning on playing all 27. They might play 25. But whatever, that's a team that could represent their conference. 2 teams represent their conferences in the NCAA tournament. So the fact that we took care of business the way we did was really important, especially without Jack, so we're a little bit shorthanded. I was thrilled with, in particular, how our young guys performed. Patrick, Keegan Murray, Joe Toussaint, coming off the bench, Aaron Eulis, and then Tony Perkins, Chris, and those guys are going to be fine. Josh, they're going to be fine eventually. We've got some veteran guys right now in front of them. Then we turn around. We really don't know what to expect from Western Illinois. New coach, 12 new players, 1 returning player, and they played no games before we played them. So we had no film. We kind of watched when he coached at Milwaukee. We watched film on their players. Wherever they were from. Some were junior college kids, some were high school kids. And our guys, again, took care of business. And another unique game, we got up big. Luka went crazy in both games, as you would have expected. They made a run at us. I'll credit them for that. And it was, kind of a unique lineup on the floor They took it back from 16 back to 30. You know, I think it was CJ, Jack, Joe, Patrick, and Keegan. And so that was fun to watch. But like you said, I mean, this is a tough week. We got Carolina on Tuesday, Iowa State on Friday, Northern Illinois on Sunday. So we got to be ready for those guys. Starting with tomorrow night, you know, one of the premier programs, one of the premier coaches in our game, with great size, terrific team in terms of talent and depth. A little on the younger side for Roy's teams, but really gifted. And he's got some veterans he plugs in there. He starts 2 freshmen in the backcourt, but he's got a senior like Andrew Platek that comes off the bench, played great against UNLV when they got off to a slow start. You know, Brooks is a senior, preseason player of the year in that league. You know, but they have 4 really big guys. They're going to rotate on Luka and on Jack and, you know, Connor, et cetera. So big-time challenge for us, guys.
And, Coach, let's go right to Luka Garza, your All-American Player of the Year, preseason Player of the Year. A lot of places he was Player of the Year last year. How excited were you, I guess, and the guys when you heard that Luka's going to stay? I never considered him gone. People say he came back. Well, he didn't go anywhere. He stayed right here and became the guy you build around once again. In these first 3 games, the kids have really done a nice job of getting the ball to the big man in areas that he can score.
Yeah, you know what, Bobby? I was really impressed with Luka and his family and how they went through the process. You know, we always talk about guys put their name in and go through the process. Well, what does that mean? What it means is they do their homework. They talk to agents. They talk to general managers. They talk to scouting directors. And they try to figure it out. Okay, am I going to get drafted? If I am, where? Is it a guarantee? You know, do I have a guarantee of a 2-way? All right. They also talk to teams overseas. Okay, what kind of money was offered there? What kind of money was guaranteed? And you weigh everything. And they have our full support in any way that we can help them just navigate the process. And what I told them to do was just go through it. Try to enjoy it. Don't stress out about it. There's no deadline where you know, obviously there is ultimately a deadline, but like we're not going to get antsy and pressure you to have to tell us any sooner. And then ultimately what he decided to do was come back and bet on himself. So that's, to me, all you need to know about Luka Garza. Come back to bet on himself, and you look at what he's done the first 3 games. Different tests tomorrow, and many, many more like that coming up. But he's having fun. What I've been impressed with him is he's leading this team, which you would have expected. But when he came back for the right reasons. He talked about his teammates. He said, I'm coming back because we have a chance to do something special. Let's buy in. Let's stay together. And let's do it. So when he talks in the locker room and the guys are getting ready to compete, you know, they're going to listen to him. And you listen to a guy who works harder than anybody else in practice. And whenever your best player is your hardest working guy, it makes your coaching job a lot easier.
Well, that's a daily double for sure, no question. We're off and running with our initial Fran McCaffrey Hawk Talk program. We're at Kinnick Stadium in our television studio over here. Fran's in his office. That doesn't mean you can't join us, though, on Twitter at Gary Dolphin or Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. And I will tell you, both have lit up here early on, so everybody's fired up about Iowa Hawkeye basketball, and rightfully so. You can watch Hawk Talk each week with Bobby and I and Coach McCaffrey. Just go to YouTube, search the Hawkeye Radio Network. On YouTube, search the Hawkeye Radio Network. And, of course, we're here the old conventional, old-fashioned way across the vast Hawkeye Radio Network with 50 stations covering Iowa and the Midwest. And we're so pleased to be sponsored tonight. Our presenting sponsor for Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey, again this season, is 1201 Kitchen and Tap, where the focus is simple: to deliver outstanding service, quality products, and consistency, along with a great menu selection. Guests to the Coralville restaurant experience the best of the Midwest: American cuisine, domestic and Iowa craft beers and specialty drinks. Visit us at 1201 Kitchen and Tap. Our Hawkeye game sponsor for the North Carolina game is Renewable Energy Group, REG, the Renewable Energy Group. Thank you very much, REG. We'll step out, take our first break. When we come back, we'll go to Twitter, we'll go to Facebook, we'll go back to Bobby, and we're going to talk Hawkeye basketball until 8:30 tonight. This is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey from Iowa City.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
When the world began to change and wearing face covers was recommended for men, women, and children, Authentic Brand responded, transforming our production to much-needed quality masks and delivering on the demands of millions. This is the spirit of Authentic Brand, excelling in the areas that others cannot or will not. You feel the difference in every piece of Authentic Brand gear that you buy, giving you the authentic spirit to take the world in your own way, at work, at the game, or relaxing at home. Be authentically safe and comfortable in Authentic Brand. Visit us online at authentic-brand.com.
Here in Iowa, corn is more than our livelihood. It's our way of life. We use it to feed our livestock, helping us raise healthy pigs, cows, and chickens. We use it to make ethanol, helping us power a prosperous, clean-burning future. We use it to nourish our families, helping us stay strong generation to generation. And the more we use it, the more it boosts our economy, helping elevate the lives of all Iowans. You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
Fans, if you want to give your taste buds the thrill of a dramatic, fun-filled victory, try Blue Bunny Loaded Sundaes. With a roster of all-star flavors, Loaded Sundaes have tons of toppings, swirled in deliciously soft ice cream. Even better, they come straight from the freezer, so you can grab one and get right back to the game. The next time you're in the freezer aisle, let your fun side act as head coach. Get Blue Bunny Loaded Sundaes, available now at your local grocery store.
This isn't a grilled cheese I'm making. It's a melty masterpiece that deserves a kitchen worthy of greatness.
Looks like my porch is full of packages again. It also looks like my compulsive buying needs to change to compulsive saving.
As I sit here on this couch, I decided to make some changes, starting with this couch.
I'd love to be looking out my window at a beautiful backyard instead of a brick wall. Time for a new house.
Whatever your passion, U.S. Bank can help turn it into your next pursuit. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Welcome into our first Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffrey. Iowa, North Carolina hoops tomorrow night. The Hawks in the Cy-Hawk game with Iowa State later this week on Friday, and then conclude a big week of basketball at Northern Illinois at Carver Hawkeye Arena on Sunday afternoon. But the focus is entirely on the Tar Heels, North Carolina, and the Tar Heels. Coach, you mentioned Brooks a little bit earlier, Garrison Brooks. He is gigantic. He's 6'10", 6'11", about 240. He's the preseason ACC pick for MVP in that league. So we've got Garza representing the Big Ten. Brooks, the ACC. It should be quite a battle. I know they'll run some combination defenses at Luka, but tell us about Brooks and his game, and how do you defend him?
The thing I like about Brooks, he kind of plays at his pace. He's a worker. He's physical on the glass. He can score. He can score over you. He plays the game the right way. He can pass. He can score. He runs. He bangs. He moves his feet. He's not a mistake guy. And he's doing for that team what they need him to do, and that's to be a veteran presence. Because they have some young guys that they're playing. And he plays up front with Bakett, who's also the same size. Both physical, both strong, both fire at the glass, really pound the offensive glass. They're like plus 18 on the glass in 4 games, which is kind of unheard of numbers. They play 2 freshman guards that are really talented. Love and Davis, both are really good. Both have played well, and just getting experience. They played in the Maui Classic, which of course wasn't held in Maui; it was held in Nashville, North Carolina. But they played, 3 games in 3 days against really good teams. They played UNLV, they played Stanford, then they played Texas. They lost at the buzzer, game winner against Texas. Tied the game, and the kid had a step back with 0.1 seconds. But played really well. Showed the ability to come back. They've got some talented guys coming off the bench. They also have 2 huge guys coming off the bench, in Sharp and Kessler. They got a veteran guard in Playtech. Leaky Black plays the small forward position, long and talented. Like you said, Duff, they defend. They're going to press some. They're going to trap some. They're going to keep you guessing. Roy's teams have always done that. They're going to execute. They're going to run their secondary break stuff to perfection. They mix in some sets, and they challenge your team in every possible way, and that's why they're one of the gold standards in college basketball. The only unfortunate thing, guys, is you think about 2 ranked opponents. You're bringing in a Hall of Fame coach, a team like Carolina. I mean, it just would be so much better if Carver Hawkeye was packed. I've gotten a lot of friends, a lot of our fans have reached out. Coach, can you get me 2 tickets? Can you get me in the building? Can you get me in the building? And all I can say is, as you guys know, our fans are awesome. I love them. I would want to get them all in and do whatever I could. Right now, we're limiting it to family for obvious reasons. And it, kind of breaks my heart not to just tell everybody, yes, I got you covered. But I do think in time, this will hopefully loosen up and we'll be able to get some people in the building. But right now, we're just going to have to settle for a great college basketball game with 2 great teams.
And, Coach, that was my question. How different is it without the fans in there? And, I'm looking across the way, looking for Doc Fellers to get up and give the old traveling call, give some help to the referees. But there's nobody over there. It's just an empty sideline. And the kids seem to
what's funny about that, Bobby? The referees were asking me where he was.
Of course. They let them know.
Where's that guy? He's always on my case. I said, that's
traveling
right there. Doc Feller, that's our guy. And his wife, Ellen. I would love to have those guys there, and they would love to be there. So it's just something that we're dealing with. But you're right, Bobby. It's a weird atmosphere. We did a dress rehearsal about a week before our first game. We put the benches like they are. You saw how they are. We like the NBA did it, spread everybody out. We spread everybody out at the scorer's table. We built that up. Same for the opponent bench. We brought the refs in and we put the fake crowd noise. We did have the announcer, so the announcer will say who scored and whatnot. But it kind of puts the onus on the players to understand momentum, how to stop it, how to get it back, how to stay the course and just keep grinding and not get complacent. I kind of, a lot of people said, well, it'll be good. Maybe it'll be easier to win on the road, no crowd. You ask our guys, they'd much rather have a crowd on the road. As hard as it is in this league, Bobby, Dolph, you've been in every arena. It's not easy. But that's what you want. That's what you sign up for. And that's the beauty of playing in the Big Ten. So hopefully we'll get back to that before next year, as I'm pretty sure we'll be back to that for sure next year. But I'm hopeful maybe at least we'll get some people back in the building at some point this year.
Yeah, Coach, and having said that, I've been watching your bench. I love how that's separated out there. Everybody's kind of got their the sign on their seat where they go to, but your bench is up. I mean, they're into the game. They're creating some of that excitement. And when Luka comes out, he makes sure he fist bumps each and every one of those guys on the bench. They stand up and welcome him back there for a breather. And I love it. I love that type of camaraderie inside that team.
Got to have it, especially now. You need it anyway. But there's such tremendous respect for Luka and what he's done and what he continues to do. And it's just a kind of sign of how much they love him. They want him to do well. They're cheering for him. There's no selfishness like, hey, look at this guy. He got 65 in the first half of the last 2 games. Yeah, and we'll throw it to him again, when he's open. And, now teams will start doubling and start running at him, and then we'll move it, and get open jumpers. I mean, we've got some guys shooting the ball well from three-point range and some guys that we're going to need, in particular, tomorrow night.
Coach, you've answered this somewhat, but since it's on topic, Clint on Twitter says, Fran, without crowds to fire up the team, how important is self-motivation? And how have you discussed from your angle or the staff's angle in firing up the team if you feel they need a little kick in the tail?
Yeah, I in the first 3 games I had one timeout where I got fired up, and I had to jump them a little bit, challenge them, and they responded. Like I've always said, guys, there's times when you have to do that. If you do it all the time, then you're the crazy one. You do it when it's necessary. You do it when it makes sense to the guys. And they respond when you have character guys on your team, which we have. You hope that you have a maturity about your team that knows and understands what's necessary and how to help one another, how to encourage one another. Like, you remember the play the other day, we were up 28 or 30, and we got a steal, and it got poked away, and Keegan dove like 25 feet for a loose ball and called timeout.
Yes.
And everybody just sprinted to him and picked him up and high-fived him and rubbed his head and chest bumped him, because they're recognizing, okay, that's a winning play. Keegan Murray just made a winning play, and that's what winning teams do. And when they do, they get the full support of their teammates so that the next guy does the same thing.
Interesting question, Coach, from Chad on Twitter. Fran, in regards to other teams that other outstanding teams you have coached against in your career, is there one, do you feel, that's most similar to this year's Iowa team? Some have mentioned the 2013-2014 Wisconsin Final Four team. I'm trying to remember, was Kaminsky on that team, or was Frank? Yeah, I think Frank was on that team.
Yeah.
But that would be
Frank was the player of the year.
That's right.
I think from a personnel standpoint, from a veteran standpoint, I think that makes sense. Our style is completely different from how they play. So, all right, yeah, they had some shooters. They had a big guy who was really good, was a player of the year guy. They had some pieces kind of like we do. But we're going to press and we're going to run and we're going to get after people a little bit differently than they did. But I think that's a fair comparison.
On Facebook at voiceofthehawkeyes.com, Julie says, I met Fran and the whole McCaffrey family at the State Fair in 2019. They were all so nice and kind. Go Hawks and win it all this year.
Well, I'll tell you what, we love going to the State Fair. I think like anybody who lives in Iowa. I believe that night we all went together, and Connor and Patrick and Connor's girlfriend, Gracie, and then my daughter Marit and one of her friends, they went to the concert that night. So we kind of messed around and walked around and ate some of the great food and just kind of took it all in. And then we left and they went to the concert. So that, and I've gone to a number of concerts there. They improved that venue tremendously. Went to Earth, Wind and Fire went to Lady Antebellum. So it's something that we enjoy doing with our families. We went to a concert, the Lady Antebellum concert. We took our daughter with us. I think it was Lady Antebellum. Anyway, it was one of those. But we go every year, and sometimes I meet some friends over there from Des Moines. The Mausers and friends of ours over there. We go and really get a chance to spend some quality time with our dear friends over there in Des Moines.
The great Iowa State Fair. It's a series.
We missed it this past year.
And it wasn't
We
around
missed it this year.
Yeah, bummer.
Which, talk about another bummer, yeah. And I'm sure Bobby Fran is much more approachable in August than he is in the middle of January.
Fran's awesome all the time. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, Dolph, but I run into Fran at the fair all the time. I'm either working it with a BBB or him and Margaret or with Mausers and the Grubs. And
a little more relaxed, maybe, is what I'm thinking.
They get to go to the concerts. I got to work.
Adam Grubb, he's a big State Fair guy. One year we went over there with he and his dad and
Ron.
Ron rents like an RV. They live there for the week. So
sure,
Ron and Angel, you bet.
We just kind of followed Adam Grubb around, and he said, "Okay, we're going to eat this, then we're going to eat that, then we're going to go here, then we're going to do that." He's like, he should really work for the Chamber of Commerce for the city of Des Moines and the State Fair, because he is an expert. And it was so much fun to be with him, to kind of see everything that you need to see. Then, of course, we used to visit Mike and Patty Street, for years and years and years. Mm-hmm. They were over there. They set up shop, and they were there the whole time, and we would always go visit them. And I think they sold their business, so they don't do that anymore. So we miss seeing them, but hopefully next summer we'll be able to go back to the State Fair. We missed it.
Here.
And I'm sure I won't ask you to plug it, but I know you're always looking for that best pizza stop, and I'm sure you found one at the State Fair as well.
Yeah, there's a few options.
There are. With that note, we're getting hungry here. We'll take a break, come back with more Hawk Talk. Got a couple questions about North Carolina. We'll get those to Coach McCaffery when we come back. The Hawks and the Heels tomorrow night at 6:30. Bobby and I will greet you on the Hawkeye Radio Network at 5:30, and we'll be back with more Hawk Talk presented by 1201 Kitchen and Tap right after this.
Get ready for more. Introducing Hy-Vee Plus. Get a Hy-Vee Plus premium membership for just $99 a year and get fuel savings every time you shop in-store and online. Plus, exclusive deals and offers every month. Plus, you can call our Red Line hotline day or night for anything you need. Plus, free online delivery and free express pickup. Plus, a personal online shopper. With Hy-Vee Plus, our plus equals more. Sign up today. Some restrictions apply.
Whoa, winter is right around the corner. Before you travel for the holidays, get a free vehicle winter inspection from my dad, Brian Seckfetz, and his staff at Dodge Street Tire and Auto. For 25 good years, they've been your family-friendly, dependable, and honest neighborhood auto repair shop. That's why their loyal customers have once again voted Dodge Street Tire as the best in the area. Don't be left out in the cold. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, at the corner of Dodge and Church Street.
Your business is your pride and joy. You raised it with hard work, from nothing but a dream. And since you care so much, naturally you want to protect it from harm. That's where we come in. Because a great insurance policy is not a necessary evil. It's the best way to keep your business happy, healthy, and profitable. Pamper your business with a policy from West Bend. Visit thesilverlining.com to find out more.
Are you looking to downsize from your family home to begin your retirement years? Our Oak Knoll East campus is for you. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director at Oak Knoll. Our new campus has many unique amenities for your active lifestyle, in addition to providing the same great services that Oak Knoll has offered our residents for over 50 years. We're now open and have a few two-bedroom apartments still available. Call me at 319-351-1720 or visit oakknoll.com to set up your personal tour. Go Hawks!
Fans, if you want to give your taste buds the thrill of a dramatic, fun-filled victory, try Blue Bunny Loaded Sundaes. With a roster of all-star flavors, Loaded Sundaes have tons of toppings, swirled in deliciously soft ice cream. Even better, they come straight from the freezer, so you can grab one and get right back to the game. The next time you're in the freezer aisle, let your fun side act as head coach. Get Blue Bunny Loaded Sundaes, available now at your local grocery store.
Feel the power. Feel the speed. Feel extreme. Hawk fans, get extreme. Powered by Mediacom. And experience streaming so real you can feel it. Whether you're live streaming the game or streaming your favorite series with supercharged speeds up to 1 gig and powerful whole home Wi-Fi, you're in it. Our 100% gigabit technology network was built to take you further. Get ready to feel it. Extreme. Powered by Mediacom.
To Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffrey. I'm Gary Dolphin alongside former Hawkeye and NBA great Bobby Hansen. And we're talking Hawkeyes North Carolina tomorrow night at 6:30 here on the Hawkeye Radio Network, 5:30 for the pregame show. Our presenting sponsor for North Carolina is the REG Group. It's Renewable Energy Group, supporting Iowa's farmers and fueling a cleaner, more sustainable future with high-performance biodiesel. Feel the impact. Learn more at regI.com. regI.com. And Bobby and I have our authentic brand gear on tonight for Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey. Gear up for Iowa's next game with authentic brand apparel, a great Iowa company over in Perry, making Hawkeye apparel for men, women, and kids. It's the apparel we wear on game days. Find it at local retailers or order online for the holidays at authentic-brand.com. Authentic brand, look authentic, feel authentic, be authentic. Coach, Jason, a general question about North Carolina. What concerns you most about the Tar Heels in this game tomorrow night?
Well, their size and athletic power on the glass. I mean, it's one of the best rebounding teams I think I've ever scouted. You know, they're plus 18 on the glass in 4 games. I mean, you don't see those kinds of numbers ever. So it's a credit to them and how hard they work. You know, they're going to run their stuff. Nothing's changed. I mean, Roy's been running that stuff when he was at Kansas, and the reason he's in the Hall of Fame, he knows what he wants to run, whether it be secondary breaks, sets. He's going to change some defenses, so you got to be ready for that. He's going to rotate his personnel in a big way, but rotate those 4 bigs. You know, very few teams have 4 legitimate NBA prospects that are 6'11", 250. You know, they've got 4 of them. So they're going to rotate those guys. So they're going to challenge us when we have the ball. They're going to challenge us when they have the ball. But really, I think, you know, it comes down to getting on that glass.
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to follow up, Bobby, for a second here. That makes Jack Nunge a very valuable piece tomorrow night. Not only is it great to have him back, but a 6'10" body that can help Luka out.
Yeah, Jack's a terrific player. He's playing great. Yeah, you know, obviously for him, you know, he had the ability to take as much time as he wanted with his family. I knew he wanted to get back and play this week, but I'm glad he got one under his belt. Kind of got his basketball legs underneath him. You know, of course, then he gets 18 points. You know, shot his first 2. He was all amped up, and then shot 8 for 9 after that. I mean, it just goes to show you. I mean, he's just such an efficient player, but his size and his length and his physical stature really will be important in this game.
And, Coach, as will Joe Toussaint, I think, just watching North Carolina, the 3 games that were in Asheville that I watched, those little guards are quick, and they drive first, and then they shoot second. That's what I'm saying. We're going to need Joe on Tuesday night to get in front of him.
Well, the other thing is, I mean, Caleb Love's not little. Now, R.J. Davis is a smaller, too, but, you know, he's about 6 feet tall, and he's really gifted, really versatile. But, you know, Caleb Love, you know, he's 6'4", 200 pounds, and, you know, projected to go in the first round this year. And then Playtech comes off the bench. He's about 6'4" as well. So Joe Toussaint's going to be important because he's going to be on the floor a lot. They're going to be pressing him. They're going to be trapping him. And he's going to have to read, are they overplaying? Do I have room to drive it? If I get in there, can I beat everybody to the rim and finish or not? Because they're coming to block my stuff. I know that. So his decision-making and being able to play at pace is going to be critical.
Fran, coming into the season, you said you wanted to see a better defensive team for Iowa. So far, 67 points allowed. That's marked improvement in my view. North Carolina gives up 61 a game in their first 4 games. Talk about the defense and how you've been pleased to this point. Granted, it's early in the season, and with North Carolina coming in tomorrow night.
I think our defense has been pretty good, Dolph. Our rebounding has not been, which is scary because we're playing the best rebounding team in the country tomorrow night. So, it's one thing to be able to guard action and slide your feet and contest shots, but you got to finish it off with a rebound because we want to run, they want to run. So I like the idea of an up-tempo game, but it really comes down to if you get them to miss, don't give them 2, 3, and 4 shots.
Well said. On Facebook, Tron, great start to the season, Coach. Do you have any concerns with the level of defense against the opponent? Well, you've answered that.
Pretty much just answered that one.
Yeah, indeed. Let's move on to Tim. Appreciate the comments, though, Tron. Tim would be interested in hearing what Fran sees in Wieskamp and Frederick's game through 3 games that maybe wasn't there last year.
Yeah, I thought those 2 guys played well. The first game for Joe, he was in foul trouble. And then, the first 2 games, and to a certain extent for the 3rd game, you get down to the 8 and 9 minute mark. I wasn't putting those guys back in. I'm not going to get anybody hurt. And I wanted to give those freshman guys an opportunity to get minutes, and they did. For Patrick, for Keegan, and get Jack some minutes. I thought getting Aaron Euless some minutes. I'm trying to get Tony and Chris in there if I can, but you get to a point where you can't play too many guys because you got to keep some continuity out there. But I thought those guys. You look at their assist turnover numbers. Look at Weezy's 3-point shooting numbers. He had 16 and 7 in 1 game. So I was pleased with them and their unselfishness. A lot of guys, man, I want to shoot the ball, but we're throwing it into Luka. He shoots 14 for 15. We're going to throw him the ball. If he can get 30 in the first half and 35, we're going to throw him the ball. But I thought, Weezy made a huge 3 when they cut it to 16. As I said, CJ was on the floor. We made that run back. So those guys are playing well, and we expect them to continue to play well.
And Coach, a couple of questions here in my question is crazy offseason recruiting. Number one, how do you manage that differently this season? And then I know you said normally like the referees will come out and you guys will talk and there'll be some points of emphasis. Anything like that this year? Rule change or anything we need to be watching?
Nothing major. No. When the shot clock goes to 20, there's a couple different situations now. It did that last year. But there's other times when now that's even more, it'll stay at 20. So you might notice that it doesn't get reset to 30. Points of emphasis are the same. The flopping stuff, you're hoping that you don't see a lot of that. And they don't get away from that. So it's the freedom of movement. They don't want you to back down, bang, 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 kind of like Shaq used to, Bobby. Mm-hmm. He would start at 13 feet. He'd bang you twice and dunk on your head. He's like, what am I supposed to do? He just, pushed me back 9 feet. So they're going to call that. So you can kind of have a little bit of contact, but then you got to go around the guy or over the guy. You just can't go through the guy. So you might see a few more flop calls. So you're trying to kind of balance the flop calls versus what is actually a post offensive player just barreling over a post defensive player. So that's going to be interesting to see how that gets gets officiated.
Yeah, right there, Fran. How what are they telling you about when they're just beating the out of Luka inside there? I mean, yes, this is Southern and North Carolina Central, but eventually it's going to be the Big Ten that's pounding on him. And how much are they going to allow?
I think they'll be pretty smart with how they officiate Luka. The hardest thing is different teams are going to do different things. First of all, are teams doubling or not? So if they play behind and don't double, Luka's got to be careful about dropping his shoulder. He's got to make a move and go around a guy. If they fight and try to make him work hard for position, and then he faces up, do they run a guy at him? Do they come big to big? So he's got to then read the defense, read the double team. Where is it coming from? How do I move the ball against it? But you also can't have two guys invading his cylinder and chopping him, which is what I think, Bobby, you're referring to.
Right.
The cylinder rule applies to guys in the post, just like it applies to guys on the perimeter when they're trapping you and like literally coming into your space, coming into your cylinder, they call it, and you've got nowhere to go. So I think that's really one of the hardest things to officiate. What's a legal trap and what's invading your cylinder, and should be a defensive foul. So hopefully they'll get it right.
Fran, a quick follow-up on the officiating. I had read an article a couple of weeks back where the Big Ten was looking at hiring 15 guys for the conference season to limit the risk of COVID. I haven't seen anything beyond that. Have they made a decision on that?
Yeah, they did that.
Okay.
They did it.
So it will be 15, the same 15 officials rotating.
I don't know if it's 15 or 16 or 17. But there's a number of guys that will not ref any other conference. They'll just ref ours.
All right.
Makes sense.
Yeah. On that note, we do have a question about COVID and the testing procedures. We'll save that when we come back here with Coach McCaffrey. If you'd like to join in, Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks, on Twitter @GaryDolphin. We've got a YouTube question when we return. Just search the Hawkeye Radio Network and leave your question in the live chat room. Back with more Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey, Iowa, North Carolina. Tomorrow night, we'll pause for this important message.
Hidden phone trade-ins, hidden plan requirements, hidden catches. You won't find them at U.S. Cellular because we speak fair. Plus, when you switch right now, you can get $500 off the latest phones. That's right, $500 off the latest phones with no hidden requirements, no hidden plan requirements, no hidden phone trade-ins, and no hidden... You get the idea. Upgrade to fair. Upgrade to U.S. Cellular. Requires new postpaid service plan, new line port in, credit approval, qualified smartphone purchase, and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month RIC. Taxes, fees, and additional terms apply.
Like any winning team, it takes every part of EMC insurance companies working together to successfully ensure that our agents, policyholders, and employees can count on EMC. And they do. They count on our broad range of insurance products and services. They count on our superior level of personalized service, and they trust that we will continue to be a financially stable partner, just like we have been for more than 100 years. All of this makes EMC one of the nation's premier insurance companies, and that's something you can always count on.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's back, the return of the prestigious Learfield IMG College Directors Cup, honoring college sports excellence across all competitive divisions, both men's and women's sports. Follow along with L Directors Cup on Twitter or online to see which schools will be taking home a first place trophy in June for their season-long success. Learfield IMG College Directors Cup, a premier institutional award jointly launched in 1993 by USA Today and NACDA.
This holiday season, our Shields family would like to recognize those unsung heroes who have kept America moving forward throughout this unusual year. It is through the strength of everyday heroes and dedicated volunteers who give of themselves to serve our communities that our cities and towns remain strong. From all of us at Shields, thank you and have a Merry Christmas.
Primary care providers should be able to look at patients, read between the lines, and know something's not right. Hi, I'm Dr. Denise Martinez at University of Iowa Healthcare. 80% of conditions can be treated by a family medicine doctor, so our comprehensive and caring approach is key. And if it turns out to be serious or out of our scope, we'll connect you to the right specialists right away. With experts all across the region, find one near you at uihc.org.
Welcome back. This is the inaugural Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffrey, presented by 1201 Kitchen and Tap in Coralville. Thank you, 1201. We hope to be back there next year. COVID restrictions, social distancing, of course, prevent us from doing that this year. Hawk Talk is also brought to you by Bud Light. Whenever there's a Hawk game to watch, there's a Bud Light around. And U.S. Cellular, proud to be the official wireless sponsor of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, connecting Hawkeye Nation. Bobby?
Yeah, Coach, probably didn't get to the answer on recruiting, how it's changed over this past year. And, I mean, to me, these kids are getting shortchanged a little bit. You go into the Nike Peach Jam, and those things are all off the table now. So how has that all changed for college?
Yeah, I feel bad for those kids that didn't have the opportunity. I remember how much fun, my two boys had playing that summer before their senior year. I remember Patrick went to Las Vegas, New York, L.A., Indianapolis, Dallas. I mean, it was incredible. Connor did the same thing, but it's out. It wasn't as big a deal for them because they were coming here. But a lot of kids are trying to get exposure. Some kids are trying to get a scholarship. Some kids are trying to see who would be interested in them. Peach Jam's a big deal on the EYBL circuit. The Gauntlet circuit's huge. That's the Adidas circuit. And you have the Under Armour circuit. Then you have the other tournaments that are really good, like NY2LA events in Milwaukee. But it gives opportunities, especially you look at Iowa kids. They don't play against each other all the time. You go to Chicago, you go to Milwaukee, you go to St. Louis, you go to New York, whatever, and go play against different people. And then ultimately get other schools to see you. So for us, we obviously already knew Peyton Sanford, so we were sold on him. Loved that guy. I mean, he can play, world-class character, great family. He's going to be terrific for us. And so we kind of locked in on him, and then we're going to kind of take a step back. And there's a handful of guys that we had an opportunity to get involved with in the 22 class that we had seen. There's others that we want to see. But what we do is we watch film. So some tournaments still were held. There weren't any fans. There certainly weren't any college coaches in attendance. But the tournaments were still held. So we watched those online. So then when we called the recruits, we could actually talk about the game. So we did that. I probably made more phone calls. I connected with guys because instead of running around watching games, I was just speak to them on the phone and watch them, in my office. So it's a different experience for them. I'm more sad and upset that they didn't have the experience that they deserve. I do think that it could potentially lead, Bobby, to more mistakes in recruiting if you haven't had enough time to actually evaluate somebody. So that's why we were so excited about Peyton. We recruited him for well over a year. So we saw him for his high school team. We saw him for his AAU team. We saw him at NCAA events. And we got to know him. We visited. His family visited. They came to a football game. They came to a basketball game. They came to practice. So hopefully it'll get back to, they're saying that maybe after the Final Four, or right around then, we can start going back out and watching games and AAU tournaments will start back up. I always love seeing state tournaments in different states, guys who are recruiting, watch them in those type of venues, trying to win it all. So hopefully, those kids will just be out there playing and they'll let us go soon.
And Peyton Sanford from Waukee, isn't he? Fran out there just west of Des Moines, young man from Waukee. Yeah,
he is.
Fran,
scratch golfer too, Dolph.
Then I'm not getting in the game with him.
Yeah, be careful.
Coach, additionally on Facebook, Terry asks, Fran, how has Luka's emergence and his development affected your recruiting in terms of exposure and people becoming additional Hawk fans?
Yeah, I think anytime you have somebody who's the National Player of the Year and he comes back and he talks about the culture, that's going to help us in recruiting. They look at his path and say, wow, I would love to have a career like that. We're getting a lot of publicity because where our team is ranked, and that also helps in recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we can keep that momentum going.
Indeed. We're brought to you tonight, Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey, by Iowa Corn. The Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series is on hold for this season. Iowa's corn farmers will continue to stand behind this unique series and everything it stands for. Because here in Iowa, we do grow corn. The truth is corn grows Iowa. Iowa Corn, of course, will be our presenting sponsor for Iowa and Iowa State Friday night at Carver Hawkeye Arena across the way, where we'll be tomorrow night for Iowa and North Carolina. We'll be back with more questions for Coach McCaffrey. Fran can hang around with us for another 10, 15 minutes or so. Back to Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey right after this.
Hidden phone trade-ins, hidden plan requirements, hidden catches. You won't find them at US Cellular because we speak fair. Plus, when you switch right now, you can get $500 off the latest phones. That's right, $500 off the latest phones with no hidden requirements, no hidden plan requirements, no hidden phone trade-ins, and no hidden... You get the idea. Upgrade to fair. Upgrade to US Cellular. Requires new postpaid service plan, new line port in, credit approval, qualified smartphone purchase, and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month RIC. Taxes, fees, and additional terms apply.
Iowa-based Renewable Energy Group is America's largest producer of biodiesel. Biodiesel delivers the performance farmers and fleet managers expect from their equipment. It's also one of the cleanest fuels available today. Using REG biodiesel is a simple way to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and improve air quality now with every tank full. For more than 20 years, REG has produced safe, clean, and high-quality sustainable fuel that's used in Iowa, across the U.S., and around the world. Learn more at regi.com.
Get ready for more. Introducing Hy-Vee Plus. Get a Hy-Vee Plus premium membership for just $99 a year and get fuel savings every time you shop in-store and online. Plus, exclusive deals and offers every month. Plus, you can call our Red Line hotline day or night for anything you need. Plus, free online delivery and free express pickup. Plus, a personal online shopper. With Hy-Vee Plus, our plus equals more. Sign up today. Some restrictions apply.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. Gary Dolphin here for UPS. Your customers want more from your business. You've got to make more happen, whether they're in Coralville or on the other side of the world. Globally or locally, UPS is building solutions to help businesses give their customers exactly what they want. More made easy. UPS, the official logistics company of Iowa Athletics.
Experience the benefit of Blue with a Medicare supplement plan from Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. With our plans, you'll enjoy nationwide access to care, optional dental, vision, and hearing coverage, and more. Call 1-888-616-8927 or go online to wellmark.com/Medicare plans. You may even qualify for a special household discount. This is the benefit of Blue. Wellmark Blue Dental product available to Iowa residents only. Must reside in the service area of the plan. Wellmark Medicare supplement insurance plans are not connected with or endorsed by any government agency.
Primary care providers should be able to look at patients, read between the lines, and know something's not right. Hi, I'm Dr. Denise Martinez at University of Iowa Healthcare. 80% of conditions can be treated by a family medicine doctor, so our comprehensive and caring approach is key. And if it turns out to be serious or out of our scope, we'll connect you to the right specialist right away. With experts all across the region, find one near you at uihc.org.
You're listening to Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffrey. Our launching pad program. Tomorrow night it's Iowa, North Carolina, 5:30 for the pregame show and 6:30 for the tip-off with Bobby Hansen and yours truly, Gary Dolphin. It is the Big Ten ACC Challenge. And before we bring Fran back in, let's pause 10 seconds to allow our stations around the Hawkeye Radio Network to identify themselves. This is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey. And back with the head coach of the Hawkeyes, Fran, on YouTube out of the chat room. Coach, impressed with the low positive tests that the university is announcing each week. It's great to see. Can you talk about the actual testing procedures that your team has to go through each week, and how many times are they tested?
Yeah, we're tested 6 days a week, and we do the antigen testing, which is what everybody refers to as the daily testing, where you get the results within 20 minutes. And then we'll mix in some PCR tests, which are the ones that take a little longer, a little more accurate, and a little more time to get the information back. But, we have to, we can turn them around a little bit quicker. So, yeah, that's about it. So every day, our day starts with coming in, and we have it set up in Carver Hawkeye Arena, where we get the nurses and the company that does it. We do our test, they read it, and we know within 20 minutes.
Well, there you have it, YouTube chat room participant. Thank you. Fran, I'm going to throw this out there. I know you're so focused on North Carolina tomorrow night, but Blake, since he took the time to check in on Twitter, Fran, good luck tomorrow night with the Cyhawk Cyclones on Friday. He wants to know what has meant most to you now that you've enjoyed this rivalry for 10 years. What have you found most intriguing? What has meant the most to you about Iowa State? Not even thinking about that right now, to be honest with you guys.
It's a rivalry game. I've coached in a ton of them here, everywhere I've been. You have rivalry games, whether they're in the same city, whether they're in the same state. So you know what rivalry games are, and we'll have another one on Friday.
Question about the recruiting class that everybody's impressed with, Fran. We've talked about Patrick. Of course, he was a year ago, but he's a first-year player. Talked about Patrick's addition to the squad, back on the floor, logging productive minutes, and of course, a lot of talk around Keegan Murray. The question is asking you, when you go into a big recruiting class like this, where you brought in 4 or 5 kids. How do you mix and match? What's your thought process, and how many people are involved? I know your staff takes it and runs with it, takes the baton and goes with it, and watches these guys play when you can play. But it's a big class you brought in this year, Coach.
Yeah, it was a little more complicated than in years past. We didn't know if Jordan was going to play last year or if he was going to come back. We didn't know if Joe Wieskamp was going to leave the year before, so we started planning. I really like this class. The 2 guys, actually, you throw Chris Murray in there. He's really good. Keegan's just a little bit ahead of him, but Aaron Eulis and Tony Perkins are really good players. Josh's situation is completely different, as we keep talking about, with what he had to go through to get here, and we got to get him in shape. We get him in shape, he's going to be a factor. But those other guys are ready to play, and that's always the hardest thing. And they knew who we had here when they signed, but they all want to play in the Big Ten, and they're going to be bona fide Big Ten players before it's all over. It's going to have to be a little bit patient in the short run.
Bobby and I were talking during the break about, with this being a mulligan year for all the players. Bobby?
Coach, yeah, if you can explain simply the redshirt year that this is for everybody, I guess. The mulligan year, I call it.
I'm really impressed with Danny Gavitt and the NCAA for giving everyone that plays this year an opportunity to come back if they want to. Simply because we don't know what it's going to look like. We didn't know what it was going to look like when we got into it. Already there have been over 200 games canceled, postponed. We've been lucky. We're 3 for 3. Hopefully we'll be 4 for 4. You just never know. I mean, you look at yesterday, the Iowa State DePaul game was canceled at 3:54 for a 5 o'clock start. And that's just the world we live in. So not knowing what it was going to end up looking like. And some guys won't come back. They'll go pro or they'll graduate and move on. They won't come back for their 5th year. So who knows? Who knows? Obviously love to have Jordan and Luka back, but we don't know if they'll want to come back. Will Connor and, Jack Nungy want to come back in year 6, that kind of thing. So we'll deal with it, but we got some guys ready to play. If guys don't come back, we've got guys ready to step up. You always want your great ones to come back if you can, your veteran guys. And so it's going to complicate it, I think, for a lot of teams. Will you see more transferring? I mean, who knows? I mean, you might see more transferring anyway because the transfer rules have been loosened up. They're just granting anybody can leave and anybody can play right away. It's kind of ridiculous. But, I get it. Ultimately, you want kids to be happy and you want them to have opportunity. And there's strong feelings one way or the other. What I don't like is, when you loosen the transfer rules, you encourage tampering. And that really bothers me. And so if I'm all for allowing freedom, but I'm not for teams that are going to tamper with guys that are on your roster. And so it's really going to complicate the role that the NCAA has trying to navigate this, what will ultimately be a messy situation.
And, Coach, when I try to explain it to people about this mulligan year, I call it, a do-over year if kids want it. How do you manage that roster? Is it still 13 scholarships and then up to the individual university to find it in their budget? If a kid wants to stay, I guess, Fran, yeah.
Right now, we're still working on a 13.
Yeah.
We're not saying, okay, well, we have 15 or 6. No, we're working on 13. So, it really affects the 21 class. I honestly thought you might see more 21 kids go to prep school.
Mm-hmm.
But some have. So we'll see how that shakes out.
Yeah, Coach, talk about that prep route that Keegan and Chris took. I mean, my goodness, what a find those two guys are.
Yeah, it's very common back east, guys. It's not in the Midwest, and I talk to a lot of people that I know about it. It's an opportunity to mature for another year, go to a legitimate basketball situation. Those guys played over 30 games last year. They trained in the weight room. They had shooting situations. Now, there's a couple ways to do it. They went to a place where the academic component wasn't as important as it might be in some other New England prep schools where you actually are going to school and taking classes and going to study hall and things like that. Now, those two guys were 3'8", 3'9", so it wasn't that important for them. They did it for athletic reasons. Some people do it strictly for academic reasons. So I'm a good student, but I really want to go to Harvard. So I'll go to a New England prep school where I'm really going to be challenged, and I'm going to work on my SAT score to a certain point, take another class or two, and reapply. So see, how that works for you. But I'm a big proponent of it. There's some great prep school programs out there that have terrific coaches, have good academic people, and it also gives you an opportunity to be recruited by schools who otherwise would not have had an opportunity to see you play. So if you're not happy with the schools that are recruiting you, you put yourself back out on the market essentially, and usually end up with more offers.
Yep.
Fran, good luck tomorrow night. Appreciate your time tonight. Get back to the
guys. Always a pleasure. It's great to be back with you as always, and look forward to seeing you both tomorrow night. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Coach. Coach McCaffrey on Hawk Talk, Iowa, North Carolina. Tomorrow night we'll be right back with more. Bobby Hansen and I, Gary Dolphin. We are presented by 1201 Kitchen and Tap in Coralville. Back after this.
Are you looking to downsize from your family home to begin your retirement years? Our Oak Knoll East campus is for you. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director at Oak Knoll. Our new campus has many unique amenities for your active lifestyle, in addition to providing the same great services that Oak Knoll has offered our residents for over 50 years. We're now open and have a few two-bedroom apartments still available. Call me at 319-351-1720 or visit oakknoll.com to set up your personal tour. Go Hawks!
Is your vehicle worn out from winter? Before spring arrives, get a free vehicle inspection from my dad, Brian Segafetz, and his staff at Dodge Street Tire and Auto. For over 25 good years, they've been your family-friendly, dependable, and honest neighborhood auto repair shop. That's why their loyal customers have once again voted Dodge Street Tire as the best in the area. Don't be left out in the cold. Dodge Street Tire and Auto at the corner of Dodge and Church Street.
American Equity salutes today's hero of the game and is a proud sponsor of the ongoing recognition of our military at Hawkeye Games this season. Thank you to all the men and women, past and present, who have served our country and allow all of us to enjoy the freedom and liberty we enjoy today. American Equity's vision is to become the premier insurance company specializing in retirement savings and income products. To learn more about our company, please visit our website at american-equity.com.
Champions share common traits: integrity, reliability, hard work, and innovation. Your Better Business Bureau knows championship companies. We conduct background checks and listen to consumers around Iowa and Illinois, so we know the true character of these companies. Let the BBB match you with a championship company when you're hiring a contractor, using a business, or need a service. The Better Business Bureau is an Iowa nonprofit serving our neighbors for over 80 years. BBB help and information is free. So find us at bbb.org/Iowa.
MidAmerican Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffrey, Bobby Hansen, and I'm Gary Dolphin. Search your favorite podcast platform and subscribe to the official podcast of the Iowa Hawkeyes, the Fight for Iowa podcast, presented by the Iowa Lottery. Iowa Lottery, a proud supporter of Hawkeye basketball. The podcast is also available on HawkeyeSports.com. This week's episode will be up on Wednesday. Will be online Wednesday and features Iowa women's tennis coach and Herky's podcast host, Sasha Schmidt. Our game sponsor for tomorrow night's North Carolina battle with the Hawkeyes is Renewable Energy Group. Renewable Energy Group is supporting Iowa farmers and fueling a cleaner, more sustainable future with high-performance biodiesel. Feel the impact today. Learn more at regi.com. regi.com. Let's take a peek at the scoreboard here, courtesy of our friends at U.S. Bank. Couple NFL games today and tonight. The Steelers were defeated by the Washington football team, so that means Pittsburgh is no longer undefeated The Washington Football Club defeated Pittsburgh this afternoon 23-17. The regular scheduled Monday night game, the Bills and the 49ers, Buffalo 7, San Francisco 7. They're in the second quarter. No Big Ten basketball tonight due to the ACC Big Ten Challenge that starts tomorrow. Of course, you know about Iowa, number 3 against number 16, North Carolina. Our pregame coverage starts at 5:30 here on the Hawkeye Radio Network at Carver Hawkeye Arena tomorrow. Elsewhere, it's Purdue at Miami. Minnesota hosts Boston College. Ohio State visits Notre Dame. Penn State travels to 15th-ranked Virginia Tech. Number 6 Illinois at number 10 Duke tomorrow night, and Syracuse will take on Rutgers in Piscataway. Everybody else will go on Wednesday. Back with more Hawk Talk. We're going to hear from Dan Gable next, the latest Presidential Medal of Freedom winner, after this pause on Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey.
Imagine a virtual club that's free to join, where the fun never stops and where there's always something new and exciting happening. It's the Prize Zone, a special part of the Iowa Lottery VIP Club that'll make your VIP experience even VIP-ier. Members can enter Prize Zone drawings for cash, technology, lottery tickets, concert tickets, and sports ticket prizes all day, every day, all year long. Get rules and complete details at ialottery.com. Join today and see what's waiting for you in the VIP Club Prize Zone.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox Home Comfort Specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
Iowa-based Renewable Energy Group is America's largest producer of biodiesel. Biodiesel delivers the performance farmers and fleet managers expect from their equipment. It's also one of the cleanest fuels available today. Using REG biodiesel is a simple way to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and improve air quality now, with every tank full. For more than 20 years, REG has produced safe, clean, and high-quality sustainable fuel that's used in Iowa, across the U.S., and around the world. Learn more at regi.com.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. Gary Dolphin here for UPS. Your customers want more from your business. You've got to make more happen, whether they're in Coralville or on the other side of the world. Globally or locally, UPS is building solutions to help businesses give their customers exactly what they want. More made easy. UPS, the official logistics company of Iowa Athletics.
Feel the power. Feel the speed. Feel extreme. Hawk fans, get extreme. Powered by Mediacom. And experience streaming so real you can feel it. Whether you're live streaming the game or streaming your favorite series, with supercharged speeds up to 1 gig and powerful whole home Wi-Fi, you're in it. Our 100% gigabit technology network was built to take you further. Get ready to feel it. Extreme. Powered by Mediacom.
Whether it's a commercial, residential, healthcare, or industrial project, Carpenters Union Local 1260 provides a professional and productive workforce, on time and on budget. And Union Carpenters also have specialized COVID prevention training to allow for the safest environment possible. Since 1902, Carpenters Union Local 1260 has been building the University of Iowa, and that relationship continues today as a proud partner of Hawkeye Athletics. To find a union contractor and union carpenters for your next job, visit carpentersunionlocal1260.com or call 319-338-1638.
Thanks so much for tuning in to our opening Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffrey. I know he wouldn't mind at all to share the platform, the stage with the great Dan Gable, who today was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Trump in a ceremony at the White House. I sat down with the legendary Waterloo West native of Waterloo, the great Dan Gable, a couple weeks ago. We put a podcast together, and he couldn't wait to gush about the sport that he loves and help revolutionize.
What I really like about it was when I saw that even though wrestling can be tough, it can be real competitive, it can be brutal. It's you can see two football players, hitting hard, and they do make a lot of rules to prevent some injury, but at least we started close. But I look at the countries that when I think of peace, I look at the countries that we definitely want peace with. We want to have an iron fist, but yet at the same time, you don't want to go to war with them, or you don't want to go to war with anybody, to be honest with you, if you can have peace. And I love that word peace. And even though I was a competitor against the world's best in wrestling, Russia, and it was at that time USSR, they, the whole country, it comes out of their president's office, the sports. And because of that, even though the word is peace, it had something to do with that peace with Russia. They vowed to beat me back in 1972, the whole country. In the country of Iran, second most famous wrestler of all time in wrestling, their most famous sport, was the guy that wrestled in my weight class that didn't beat me. He actually pulled out of the tournament and caused a lot of disruption with their team. But he was like a 5 or 6 time world and Olympic champion. And they don't take that stuff lightly, but they do also. It's a sport. They respect it. And it actually gives me a chance to be able to be a part of the world peace, even though it's in a competitive way. And that means a lot to me. That means a lot to me.
Hey, you've been to Iran, Iraq, Syria, Turkey, China, Japan. You are truly an American ambassador, not only for the sport of wrestling, but there are a lot of peaceful relations that develop through athletes from other countries, which is no different than the Olympics. And I'm sitting here thinking, my goodness, the 50th anniversary of your Olympic gold medal win in Munich is coming up in 2022 is what I meant to say.
Right.
It also resurrects the massacre of the Israeli athletes by terrorists in the Olympic Village. I think you've touched on it a little bit with your previous comments, but what will your lasting memory be from all that happened in Munich?
Well, obviously I was tunnel visioned, and by luck, my competition was already over. I was still there. And the actual major incident where they broke into the Olympic Village was only 100 yards away from my building. And I could, from my balcony, I could see the building where they had taken over. So, and the fact that they happened to break into the building and they could win because they had guns and knives and stuff like that. But it was the wrestlers and the weightlifters. Pretty much that was their group that ended up dying. The guy in my weight class that had just, I believe he finished in the top 10 from Israel, was blown up in that helicopter incident. And he was actually a transfer from Russia. He was a Jewish kid and he went to Israel to wrestle for the Olympic Games.
Amazing.
So it was right in the middle of that. And me, I probably have thought about it a lot more afterwards than it was before, or I should say even during that particular time. And the effect has been more emotional for me afterwards by far.
Life-lasting indeed. John Wooden, Bear Bryant, Nicholas and Palmer, Kareem, Bill Russell, Jerry West, The Babe, DiMaggio, Jackie Robinson, Hank Aaron, Yogi, Clemente, even Richard Petty. Who were your sports heroes growing up, if you had any?
Yeah, mine were Mickey Mantle of the Yankees. Mine was Jimmy Brown of the Cleveland Browns, I believe.
Mm-hmm. He sure was.
Bob Cousy of the Boston Celtics. Those were my professional heroes.
Cousy, by the way, is a Medal of Freedom winner.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, all I remember, he could bounce a basketball like nobody. I mean, it was everywhere. Because he wasn't that big a guy, I don't think.
No, he wasn't.
I think he brought the ball down, but they couldn't get it from him. he'd go around him. So, he caught my eye, even though I was a wrestling guy. So, but there's been other people. I respect anybody does really well at the athletic level, and I respect anybody that coaches really well. And you put the two together, and that's been kind of my career. And so it's everlasting that way. One of my best moments, and I had a lot of them, was when my athlete got his hand raised in a wrestling match or in a tough match. Something great happened, and I would know where the family sits, and I would look over to that family section, and sure as heck, a relative, a mom, a dad, a brother, a sister, a family member would be going bananas.
I asked him, I said, what is all that noise? Here he had a pen. I thought he was playing jacks and dice or something, pick up the jacks. But that's just the nervous Nelly that Dan Gable is. And there's only one Dan Gable, and I'm guessing there'll always only ever be one Dan Gable. By the way, you can find that full interview on your favorite podcast app by searching Fight for Iowa podcasts.
My one Dan Gable story. I'm a freshman at Iowa coming in here real quick.
Dolphy, we got about 15 seconds.
I know. We're in the sauna, and he's going through a deck of cards, and the wrestlers, when he'd pull up at 8, they'd jump down and do 8 push-ups. Get back up there, and a king, that's 13 push-ups.
No joker in that deck, I'd say. Hey, we're brought to you tonight by 1201 Kitchen and Tap. Thank you so much for joining us. We're here every Monday night on Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffrey. 1201 Kitchen and Tap, located just off I-80 at the Hampton Inn and Radisson Hotel. Bobby and I will greet you tomorrow night at 5:30, Iowa, North Carolina. Good night, everybody.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield IMG College, this has been Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey, presented by 1201 Kitchen and Tap and